Welcome into the Main Event Broadcasting Network. I'm Tim McCormack, Director of Athletic Communications here at Piedmont College. Today we'll be sitting down with head men's lacrosse coach Tim Dunton to talk a little about the upcoming 2016 men's lacrosse season. Coach Dunton, thanks for joining us here on the Main Event Broadcast Network. Appreciate your time. Yeah.
Thank you.
We feel like we're saving you a little bit from the cold weather.
That's true.
That'd be great. Yeah. It's been mighty cold out there for you guys. So,
it has been, but a little bit different than New England here.
Yeah. You're used to it. None of the boys are going to.
That's true. That's true.
Well, we appreciate you taking a few minutes here to join us and talk a little about the upcoming 2016 season. Yep. First, let's talk a little bit about the returning experience that you have. You have a really experienced group with 7 returning seniors. With a ton of experience all over the field. Talk a little bit about what it's going to mean to have that experience here in your first year at Piedmont.
Yeah, I think it helps a lot as far as what we're trying to do. Obviously, you have to get them to buy into your program and your system, which they have so far, and the fall was really helpful with that, trying to get them to understand what we're trying to do and the building blocks of what we're trying to put in place for the future. It's been a good process having those guys be able to show the younger guys kind of what it takes to be a college athlete and how to be successful has been helpful for us. A couple guys that are already graduate students now and playing in their last year of eligibility has been helpful as well. So we're looking forward to them continuing the tradition and helping us build new traditions as we continue to put the pieces together for the future. So.
And you talk tradition, and we want to talk a little bit about where you came from as well in LaSalle and the program that you built up there. 13 years there. I mean, that's a long tenure at a school, and now coming into Piedmont. Talk a little bit about what your experience was like there and how you've kind of used that to help you kind of really continue on Piedmont lacrosse.
Yeah, I mean, LaSalle was a great opportunity for me to just kind of learn who I was as a coach. What we were trying to do there is not dissimilar to here as far as building a program. And trying to take the right steps and do it the right way. So at LaSalle was a way to kind of curtail our style. What we were trying to do was bring in the right type of people, good character kids, good athletes, good students. That has prepared me, I think, for life in general, but certainly for my next step and my next challenge here at Piedmont. So.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to the 2016 season now, the first year in the Tim Dunton era. It's always going to be nice to have a good offensive weapon coming back, and you have one of those in senior Taylor Carter. The hot shooting lion. So. Yeah,
the hot shooting lion. So Taylor is obviously a fellow Patriot fan too.
I knew you'd enjoy that.
So he's been a nice piece to kind of build around in our offense and somebody who can put the ball in the cage when given the right opportunities. We feel like we have another piece down there with Britt Kennedy being able to get him the ball. So those two guys in general down at the attack unit will help us tremendously throughout the year, and we're looking and leaning on Taylor to have a big year for us. So, I mean, he's gonna have to fill up the cage a little bit for us if we're going to be successful. So.
Well, we talk about him being the hot shooting lion because, of course, he had 29 goals last year, but when he scores a goal, when he ramps up to shoot, everybody knows it. He's got a lot of power behind that shot.
Yeah, he does have a lot of power behind that shot. We're trying to work with him about a little bit of a quicker release instead of trying to, kill somebody behind the net when he shoots. But, he's been good for us. He was a little banged up this past week in practice. He's starting to get healthy again, and we're looking forward to good things from him.
Yeah, and great kid as well, too, and your program's full of those as well. So a lot of different weapons for you to use offensively. You talked a little bit about Britt, and we kind of talked about Branson, some different weapons on the attack. Talk about how you can vary the attack here against opponents moving forward, and how you're going to keep it simple, but also give guys a few options.
Yeah, I think that with I'll say the limited amount of depth that we have on our team right now, we are going to try to keep it as simple as possible, trying to get these guys to understand where to attack on the field and how to attack a defense without giving away too many secrets here.
Of course.
We're trying to, Britt's the prototypical type of an attackman that's a feeder first and a scorer second. We're trying to change his mindset a little bit with that, trying to get him to turn the corner from X and finish. He does have a good shot on the run, and he can finish when he needs to, so we're trying to get him out of that habit. And Branson's just a dynamic offensive player from up top. He has the ability to split dodge any way he wants to go, going from his left to his right or his right to his left. He really doesn't change too much with his he almost ambidextrous if you watch him out there. So looking to attack with him a lot. Hopefully we get some right matchups. We'll play a little bit of a two-man game, hopefully with him and Britt, and let them play off of each other as well, while having Taylor, in some space to get some shots off. We also brought in Riley Cox, who's a transfer, who's also a very good face-off guy and an up-and-down midfielder. So we're looking to have, a lot of impact from those guys. So.
Yeah, and let's talk, switching gears a little bit defensively. Let's look at the cage and Dale Morley, returning guy with a good bit of experience, out a good bit last year, but one of those guys that comes back and brings a good bit of experience for you on the defensive end. Yeah,
has had a little bit of history of injury, and we're trying to, make sure that he's healthy throughout the year for us. He's been good for us. He's been a good leader in the cage. I think he's starting to grasp what we're trying to do defensively. He's got a good stick. He can clear the ball really well, and ultimately he saves the ball really well. So we're trying to put him in a good position by, our defense is hopefully dictating the tempo and getting our guys, our offenses that we're playing against, to shoot from ill-advised areas, so, and hopefully some bad angle shots and bad percentage shots. So, Dale's the type of goalie, I think, as a lot of college goalies are at that age, that can eat up the easy ones, and we're trying to avoid him getting picked apart from the middle. So he's been good for us this fall and this early spring, and we're looking for him to be a leader in the cage and help this defense continue to grow and mature as we go on. So
absolutely, a lot of opportunities for him to be able to do that with this 2016 schedule that you have upcoming, the first one in your era. Talk a little bit about the opportunity that the schedule presents for your team to be able to shine, and then we'll kind of delve into a little bit of the Southeast Independent Lacrosse Championship.
Yeah, the schedule was here when I got here. It was already made. We've kind of tweaked a couple things with that schedule. We open up with Millsaps in about a month now, or actually less than a month, couple weeks.
It's coming.
We got to get more prepared. So Millsaps gives us a great opportunity to get out with a team that's very similar to us, and we've had some success against them in the past. It gives us a good opener to get a good feel of what we're trying to do. We're actually scrimmaging Emmanuel and Brevard within the next week, so that gives us some opportunity to get some stuff on film and teach these guys what we're trying to do. The schedule itself is really spread out. It's a lot more travel than what I'm used to, obviously, from a New England standpoint, but it's actually after the first month or so with the Oglethorpes and the Berries of the world, all of our local games are kind of done, and we kind of shift to more of a college football schedule. So it allows us really to get our guys some rest after weekend games, dive into our film study, obviously get these guys back on track in the classroom, and make sure that we're back and healthy and ready to go for the following week's game. So again, a little different than what I'm used to. I was used to a traditional Wednesday, Saturday schedule throughout the whole course of the season. So this has given us a little bit of opportunity, and it's a welcomed one where our guys are going to need that rest, after a game, and they're going to be a little spent after some of these games.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're looking forward to that schedule and getting these guys some well-deserved rest and some back to health. So.
And at the end of that schedule, of course, sits the SEILC tournament, a new event really that really is in its second year here for us with the 5 members, Methodist, Huntington, Greensboro, Ferrum, and then ourselves as well. Talk a little bit about how you're going to try to gear your guys towards the end of that season there and try to get a championship title under their belts.
Yeah, I think that's the whole schedule is set up perfectly for that, right? Nothing really matters until that.
Right.
Obviously, we want to have success within our early part of our schedule, but if you're trying to win a conference championship, then nothing really matters until those last 4 games and ultimately the playoffs at the end of April. So we're going to try to do everything in our power to continue to progress as a team, and hopefully we're peaking at the right time to play against those teams. Now, we're going against some teams that we've never beat in the past here, and some teams that we have never lost to in the past here. So it's a little bit different for me personally. Sumner, having played against them, has a little bit of knowledge, but for me, it's been a lot of film study and watching some of these teams from the last couple of years and some tendencies and what they're trying to do.
Thanks again for joining us here on the Main Event Broadcasting Network as we sat down with head men's lacrosse coach Tim Dunton to talk a little bit about the upcoming 2016 season. It all starts right here at home at high noon on Sunday, February 7th against Millsaps College, a game brought to you by the Main Event Broadcasting Network. We'll see you next time.